Hey, what's up, folks? How's it going? This is Aviz here, and welcome to Devops Challenge Them. So let's start with today's interview question. And today's interview question is about what application is showing higher latency, which AWS tool will you use to identify the bottleneck? So your application, maybe you are making some API call and it's showing high latency. Instead of 2 seconds, it's taking 10 seconds for some reason. And you want to identify the bottleneck. Why this particular API is taking so much time. So let's change it to your API issue and latency. So tool we use is AWS X-ray. AWS X-ray is used for debugging and tracing requests. By the way, you can stay till the end because I'm going to show a little demo and also at the end we are going to have quiz. So stay till the end, try out the quiz. AWS X-ray is used for debugging and tracing requests in distributed application, especially when you are running microservice, Lambda, or container-based applications. So it will visualize how a single request flows across services. So you're making Lambda, you're making API gateway request, it goes to API gateway, Lambda, then writes into database, or from Lambda you make some external API call. So all this complete flow you can see through this X-ray, and you can see how much time each function call or each activity is taking. So this will visualize how a single request flows across services, identify latency bottlenecks, and pinpoint where errors or slowdown is happening. Let's say you have a web app using API gateway. API gateway is making call to Lambda, Lambda to DynamoDB. And if user is reporting slowness, X-ray will help you to trace me the request end to end. And then you will be able to identify where is the slowdown happening, whether it's in Lambda, whether it's in DynamoDB. Okay. So it will be, we will be able to see the where slowdown is happening. So X-ray helps by tracing each request end to end and showing where the time is being spent. So how I would use it, open X-ray service map. It visually shows each service and how long each took. Look at the red or yellow nodes. This indicates error or latency issues. And drill down into a trace from a slow request. Once you identify this is a slow request, you can drill down. And look at the timeline view, API gateway, Lambda execution, downstream services, like for example, DynamoDB, RTA, or external API. Okay. So now let's have a look at one demo. Okay, Avantika has contributed this demo. So here in this demo, what is she is trying to do? She is making API call. This is Lambda call. So Lambda A function is calling Lambda B, and that might be calling some other function, Lambda function. So series of call is happening, and from user perspective, like or application perspective, it's a single API call, and that API call internally is calling other APIs, maybe some third-party API, and there is a slowdown happening. So is it an application side API side problem, or is it a third party problem, or is it in between problem? We can debug through Lambda. So let's have a look at this then.
So in case if I have an application which has high latency and to check which one is it, I will use the AWS X-ray, which helps in tracing each request from end to end. Now, what AWS X-ray will do is that check for each function how much time it will take. Now, I've created two Lambda functions, Lambda A and Lambda B. What it does is simulates a particular amount of time, maybe 1 second and 2 seconds, and given it permissions as well. These permissions are so that we can AWS.
So here to simulate that error situation, she has put some sleep 10 seconds, sleep 5 seconds might be, right? So she has put it sleep 5 seconds so that we'll know that uh, it will be simulating that situation, that error situation, that a particular function is taking more time. So lambda A she might have put something like some sleep or in lambda B. So let's look at the example.
They can trace these functions. Now I will go to AWS the lambda A and then test it. As you can see, the execution has succeeded. So I will go to this trace map. Now I will refresh this. Now for each of these lambda A and lambda B, I can check exactly how much time it has taken. So in this case, it's 2 seconds. Then it's 1.5 seconds. This one is 1.2 seconds. And this one is 1 second. So we can see that the lambda A takes the largest amount of time, where it was given to delay for 2 seconds instead of 1 second, which I have said. So from here we can see that this one is clearly the one which is high in latency, and so we can check this out.
Yeah. So this is the map view. There is a list view map view is there, and this is a trace map. And then a trace map, you can see the client is calling lambda A from lambda A, another lambda B is getting called, and here response time distribution also you can see, and how much time each API call is taking. Whether it's taking 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, it's getting captured. So end-to-end flow is getting captured here. Okay. So this way you can debug the issue using AWS X-Ray. Okay. So this is another example. API gateway, then Lambda functions called, external HTTP calls, then database DynamoDB or DS read write. And when X-Ray revealed a request came from your API gateway, it triggered AWS Lambda function. The Lambda made an HTTP API call to a third-party service. And X-Ray trace showed that Lambda was waiting 1 2 seconds on that external call every time. So that means it's a problem with the third-party API service that's taking a lot more time. So if it is taking a lot more time, how will you, there may be a follow-up question, how will you fix that issue? Maybe we can cache that if that is the response we are calling third-party API to get some stock details. It won't change every like maybe it may be like weather details. So let's say it's a Bangalore weather or Delhi weather, right? So Bangalore weather, next 2 3 hours is not going to change. It can be cached, so that we don't need to call the API again and again. We can cache it. So that way also we can provide a solution to this. So next question is, what is the difference between trace and segment in X-ray? So trace is full journey of a request. Trace shows complete path of one user request as it passes through different services. So different services are HTTP gateway, then Lambda, then database, right? So these are the different services. So or it can be same like a Lambda, or like Lambda is calling another Lambda, calling another Lambda, then it's calling maybe third party API. So that is the full journey is the trace. Segment is one piece of that journey. A segment represents work done by the single service or component. So a user makes a request, it goes through like this, let's say API gateway to Lambda to RDS. So trace captures full path, API to Lambda to DB, full path. And each part is a segment inside that trace. So each part is a segment inside that trace. And there are subsegments which break down even finer details like the time spent in external API call, SQL queries, etc. Okay, now let's go to the quiz section. Your application is experiencing high latency and you want to identify where slowdown is happening in a request that flows API gateway Lambda DynamoDB. Which AWS tool should you use? As we discussed, it's AWS X-Ray. AWS X-Ray. AWS X-Ray lets you trace a single request end-to-end across services and visually identify the latency bottleneck. In AWS X-Ray, what is the difference between trace and segment? So trace is a full journey of a request and segment is a part handled by one service. So answer is B. End-to-end journey is trace, segment is a work done by a single component or a part. So if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe to this YouTube channel, Devops Challenge Hub, and also follow my Devops Challenge Hub LinkedIn page. I post quiz contest daily. You can participate in that, and please join WhatsApp community where I post jobs and interview tips and daily career tips. So you can join this WhatsApp community. Thank you for watching this video, and see you again in the next video.